The galaxy is facing an unstoppable threat.
Ronan could destroy us all. The Guardians are our last chance.
You're welcome.
I come from Earth.
We protect the weak.
I will fight beside you.
I'm a warrior and a weapon.
She's hot.
I'm Groot.
Quit smiling. You're supposed to be a professional.
I will destroy your world.
You gotta go through us!
We're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's for if you want to blow up moons.
No one's blown up moons.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Go now to Fandango to see an extended look.
I am Groot!
What Groot is trying to tell you is you should check out this week's episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast as we dive into Guardians of the Galaxy coming up now. Welcome back to the Couch Brotato Podcast. Lucas, how's it going, man?
Russ, it is always a goddamn pleasure, my friend.
Likewise. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this episode last night. Stomach bug running through the house. But I told myself, if Lucas can do an episode fighting through COVID, I can do one with a stomach bug. So here I am.
I can't believe I'm an inspiration for.
I decided to I'm not gonna be the fucking pussy of this show. All right, I'm gonna tough it out.
Yeah, I survived COVID. What's your problem?
Stomach bug, bitch. We have a special guest on this episode. Our producer Adam is on with us. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, gentlemen? You guys doing good, besides the stomach flu?
Oh, yeah, we're doing well. Lucas?
Well, I didn't have the stomach flu, but I had White Castle, so I also had the shits.
It's pretty much the same thing.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. It was worth it, though. It was really good.
That's voluntary stomach flu.
Except it smells worse.
Truth.
This episode, getting away from bowel movements, this episode, we decided to delve into the comic book world because, if I'm not mistaken, Lucas, you got a couple of text messages from our friends asking us when we were going to do a comic book movie, which I find a little offensive that these are mutual friends of ours, but yet they never contacted me about it.
Well, you're gonna have to take that up with Sir. But yeah, he got a hold of me. It was like, when are you guys gonna do Marvel? And I said, I don't know. I'll figure it out. And here we are doing Marvel, and he's obviously been very excited about it.
I'm sure. But next time one of our mutual friends asks us what we're going to do, you can always contact me too. I feel like I'm a very easygoing person that you could talk to. It's not like I just give off that combative vibe.
Are you even a part of this podcast?
Probably not. I don't know. I just paid for all this shit. All right, but today we're doing Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm kind of excited for this one.
Such a great movie. This is actually this is my mom's favorite Marvel movie and one of her favorite movies of all time.
Oh, wow. I can already tell your mom listens to or watches more movies than my mom does. My mom has never watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Boo.
Well, you take that up with her. For those of you that haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, which you've had plenty of time, it's been, 7 years almost?
Yep.
The movie is about a group of intergalactic criminals that must work together to stop a fanatical warrior's plan to conquer the universe with the use of a powerful orb, which is an Infinity Stone for us, you Marvel fans out there. We usually start off with a talking point, but I kind of wanted to go with the tail of the tape first because I have a really good one that we can talk about, and it kind of we need to do the tail of the tape first to get into it. So,
sounds good.
This was released on August the 1st, 2014. It stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Lee Pace, Karen Gillan, and the voices of Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon and Vin Diesel as Groot. Directed by James Gunn. A Rotten Tomatoes score of 92% from both audiences and critics. People like this movie. And then the box office worldwide was $772 million. So this was a big, big hit for them.
Yeah, Adam, what's your opinion of this movie?
I really like it. Like before it came out, I really wasn't a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was one of those like fringe Marvel comics that I never really got into. I was more of a mainstream, like, you know, I like Spider-Man, I like the Hulk. But after this movie came out, I actually picked up a couple of the comics and read them just because it was such a good movie.
Mm-hmm. Russ, what about you, buddy?
Well, this is kind of like the talking point I was talking about. Before that, though, when I heard they were doing this movie, I thought, like, what the fuck? They're doing a movie about a talking tree, a raccoon, and like it's just like a space movie, and it's, to me, this just sounded like a disaster waiting to happen. But then they launched that first trailer, and I was like, I'm fucking in. Sold.
That trailer was great. Yeah.
It was weird seeing Chris Pratt like not as like a fat dumpy idiot like he was on Parks and Rec.
Right. But that was my question. What made, like, I essentially consider the Guardians of the Galaxy before this movie, I would say they're probably C-list Marvel characters. I mean, I never heard of any of these people before this. And I mean, you had to be like a really big comic book nerd. No offense to you guys out there, to know who these guys are.
Mark.
He doesn't listen anymore anyway. So, but my question is, how did a movie with C-list characters become such a huge hit? I mean, what do you think, Lucas?
To me, a big part of this movie is the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. So if the soundtrack wasn't as great, the movie's not as great,
right?
In my opinion. So I think the soundtrack had a lot to do with it. I know just from doing a little bit of research that Chris Pratt did a lot of ad-libbing in this, and he's hilarious. I know most people wouldn't maybe not agree with me, but I think he's a comedic genius. Some of the stuff that he does is just absolutely hilarious.
Oh,
so
I agree.
I think between that, it's got a good bad guy.
Well, I beg to differ, but go ahead.
Well, he's necessary to the overall like Thanos story because of the Infinity Stone. So you got to have somebody who's kind of a lower level bad guy, you know, underneath the big bad, kind of like Loki was. Now he's not on the level of Loki as a bad guy, but I just think overall between the soundtrack and the cast, which, you know, you and I are wrestling fans, and you know, when I heard Batista was in this movie, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, see, that's another thing too. I'm like, they got like, when they cast a wrestler, unless your name is Dwayne Johnson, that typically is not a good sign.
Right.
I mean, I love Roddy Piper. I love Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, sure. But none of those guys scream like Oscar-winning actor, at least decent. But, and after I seen they cast him, I'm like, oh man, this is just getting worse.
He's one of the best parts of the movie, too.
Yeah, I agree.
He's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I have like 5 points. Lucas, you touched on a couple of them too. But Adam, I wanted to hear your input on this first before I went into my list.
Okay, well, I mean, the reason why I think it's such a good Marvel movie is all of the characters in it, they seem real. Like, one of the conversations I have with a lot of people is, like, what makes a superhero good and what makes them boring. And one of the biggest things that pops up is Batman versus Superman. Batman's a broken human being. Superman is just, he's the perfect guy, you know, and that's what makes him boring. Well, these guys, they're all relatable. I mean, we're probably not all criminals or whatever, but they're more human than just a Superman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. And also, like, this movie is the glue to all of the other Marvel movies, where you have the Infinity Stone, you have Thanos, you have the Collector, and it's that building block to the inevitable end,
Mm-hmm.
or in this case, the end game. But I think that's why it's such a great Marvel movie, and it has that Marvel formula. It has the MacGuffin, it has the bad guy, it has the good guys that you can relate to, and just like Lucas was saying, it has a great soundtrack.
It does. My 5 points is I think why this became such a success was first off, Marvel had already established itself leading up to it. You had the Iron Man series, Captain America had come out, Thor had come out. You had the Avengers; they got together, so you had that leading up to it. So people had already bought into that brand. The trailer, like we talked about, like that trailer, like sold it for me. Like I had no desire to see this at all till I seen that trailer. And then, like, I remember I talked to a friend of ours, and I said, this movie's going to fucking rock after I seen that.
You know, I don't remember the trailer. I'm gonna have to watch it when we're done here.
I remembered it, so I remember before I watched the movie the other night, I watched the trailer on YouTube, and I'm like, fuck, that trailer still is awesome. Still awesome trailer. You said the soundtrack. Yeah, the soundtrack is part of the charm of the movie. Like now, like certain songs, like whenever I hear "Hooked on a Feeling," or even like the Jackson 5 song that's in it, I'm probably gonna get slayed for this later. But whenever I hear those songs now, I think of Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think of them as like a Jackson 5 song or, whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's also like what Adam was talking about, the humanity of it.
Mm-hmm.
We can all relate to Quill, like. At least for me, music is an emotional thing for me.
Right.
So, with his mom dying, and he, kind of threw himself into music. I can relate to, like, not necessarily with the death, but for emotional purposes, I can relate to the music part of it.
Then I also had the cast. They cast this movie perfectly.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anybody that I would change in this. I mean, like, I know you really liked Ronan. I'm not a big fan of his, but like I can't see anything wrong with the actor. I think it's written kind of poorly. And then I thought the film delivered on that trailer. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a movie that has an awesome trailer, then the movie fucking sucks. Like Suicide Squad, which James Gunn's involved in the sequel. I thought that trailer for Suicide Squad was great, but that movie fucking sucks. I mean, it does. Let's call it how we see it. I also kind of think, too, that they kind of reset the formula for the Marvel movies after this came out. They seem to be a lot more lighthearted after they came out. It seemed like they tried to incorporate more comedy into it. I mean, like Iron Man was kind of like a wise-ass, wisecracking superhero. Then you had the more serious Thor and Captain America. And they might interject a little bit of humor into it, but they really went a lot more towards the humorous side with this, and they seem to put that into more of the movies later on. So it kind of reset the formula for it a little bit too.
Yeah.
And after I finished watching it, I just got to thinking, like, I really wish that the Star Wars sequels, these should have been the Star Wars sequels, the Guardians movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this is what the Star Wars sequel should have been.
How you mean?
Well, no, just like they're fun movies. Star Wars is a fun, at least the original 3. That was a fun series of movies. And then they went into the prequels, which were kind of poorly. They were boring. I mean, they had some aspects that were really good. And then I think once Disney got a hold of them, they kind of became a train wreck.
They were kind of like trying to revitalize the old fan base, I think, and they were trying to make retro movies, which didn't work. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I think Guardians, and then even when Firefly, they did the Serenity movie to kind of finish off that story. Those were like the Star Wars movies that I wanted. We didn't get them.
Well, maybe in the future, huh? Since they're going to make 74 more, because it's a cash cow. Because kids love Star Wars.
They do, although I think they should maybe give it a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, hell, maybe one of the Disney executives listens to our podcast and will be like, you know what? I'm gonna get James Gunn for Star Wars Episode 10.
Either that, or I'm going to throw a boatload of cash towards Lucas, their producer Adam, and that fucking other guy that's on the show too. Maybe
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever that guy's name is. And we'll get them to write the new Star Wars movie.
I'll be producer Adam for Star Wars. I don't care.
Well,
Ah, shit, I bet you would, because that thing's going to make $1 billion no matter how shitty it is.
Right. I'm just going to be like the fucking assistant to the assistant caterer.
Hey, that's an important job. People got to eat.
That's right. Oh, Mr. Hamill, do you need more soup with that? All right. So, I mean, like, I think those are pretty valid points on why this became a hit, because, like, it's kind of shocking how successful this movie was. Even with all those, all those ingredients sprinkled in, like, it's still shocking that this was one of the biggest hits of 2014.
It's a great movie. I really love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's most people I know that watch the Marvel series, it's easily in their top 5. It's in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of the ones that, like, I find myself, whenever I catch it on TV, like, okay, here's a scene. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to watch this for, like, the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I haven't watched this. I normally watch the movies before, but I've been kind of busy, baby on the way and all that stuff.
No one gives a fuck about that, Lucas, except for us. People listening right now don't care. No, I'm just teasing.
Fair enough. Fuck that kid.
No, we've got a secret GoFundMe set up. Your baby's gonna get some nice stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Our listeners have collected enough money to get you a diaper genie. Thanks, everybody.
$25.
It's Couch Brotato brand.
That's right.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's just in the shape of a potato. Actually, I think it is a potato, an actual potato. All right, well, now that we've touched on that, let's get into the William Somerset Research Corner. I got a few things here. I know, Lucas, you've got some stuff you want to contribute to. Adam, did you bring some notes for this?
I have a little bit of notes for it, but not a lot.
Okay, well, I brought 5 or 6. I just pull them out of my sack.
Daddy.
Joel Edgerton, Jensen Ackles, the guy from Supernatural. Eddie Redmayne, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, John Krasinski, and Aaron Paul were all among those who auditioned for the role of Star-Lord. I can't see Jesse from Breaking Bad as Star-Lord, sorry. Science, bitch. Now, I thought this was kind of interesting. Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, H. John Benjamin, Sharto Copley, and David Tennant were considered to voice Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, okay.
I could see Sandler doing it.
Yeah, but I'm actually, and I was thinking about this when you were naming the cast, I'm actually surprised at how well I like Bradley Cooper as Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just I feel like Bradley Cooper is like that handsome, more serious guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's fucking hilarious as a shit talking raccoon.
Well, Rocket's my dude in these movies. Like, I love Rocket Raccoon. So
yeah.
And you could have easily fucked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely could. Because I always had the question. Why didn't Vin Diesel or Bradley Cooper ever join them on any talk shows or anything? Does anybody know?
I think it's just because they just do the voices and that's it. Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana are the stars, and maybe it's just one of those things where Vin Diesel already had the Fast and Furious series, so he's already a big star anyway. Yeah. Same with Bradley Cooper, so it's I don't really need to take the spotlight away from them. Maybe it
was a spotlight thing. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like they're part of the team, and they were never there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just one of those hey, let the spotlight be on Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and Zoe and all them. I could be wrong. Maybe they were just super fucking difficult. I don't need to promote this movie. I already got my check.
Right.
Well, Vin Diesel has made 6,483 Fast and Furious movies. So
I haven't seen that many of them yet, but now you've given me something to do for the rest of the month.
How much they got paid actually touches on one of mine. Is Bradley Cooper told Howard Stern that he was paid more for voicing Rocket in this movie than starring in Silver Linings Playbook and The Hangover combined.
Wow. The first Hangover or 2 and 3?
The first Hangover.
Okay, I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure that I would have had to have gotten a substantial pay raise to do those 2 movies.
Well, I mean, the second Hangover and the third Hangover are also just The Hangover, just worse. So.
Yeah. Well, the third one's got John Goodman in it, but that doesn't really improve anything. Vin Diesel recorded I Am Groot in 15 different languages, so his real voice could be used in the film all around the world. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
This version of the Guardians is based on the 2008 comics. The original team from the 1968 Marvel debut features none of the characters from the team.
See, I wouldn't know that. I didn't read the comics.
I saw that, but like I was even having trouble pronouncing some of the names from them. So
that's why I didn't even bother.
We are professionals.
That's right. I already butcher names as it is. I'm not trying to butcher a name on purpose and just get like some of our more serious comic book fans like lighting bags of dog shit on my front porch.
Well, actually, that is not correct.
And then my final fact is it took James Gunn, the director, less than 1 minute into Chris Pratt's audition to decide that he was the one he wanted to play Star-Lord.
Makes you kind of think that he already had a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it probably, like, yeah, I kind of want someone like that. And then, like, we came in an audition, like, you kind of know.
Yeah.
Lucas, what do you have?
So when I try to do my facts, I try to do something like, a little outside the box, so like kind of weird shit that you wouldn't really think to research.
Is this the one where Dave Bautista requested like 10 boxes of popsicles in his trailer each day?
Is that true?
No, it's not, but
that would have been fucking awesome.
When you said outside the box, that's what I was expecting. Oh, Zoe Saldana eats sushi.
Well, she probably does.
During the set breaks.
So here's so Ronan's ship is 15,994 feet long. So it's like, what was it, like 11 or 15 Empire State Buildings on top of each other?
Damn.
Could you imagine that fucking thing coming at your planet?
Mm-hmm. So what you're telling us is Ronan had a big ass ship.
He did. He was compensating for
that
someone.
ship. That ship big as fuck.
Big motherfucking ship.
What else do you got, man?
The three lights on the Xandar armor represent the 3 sons of Xandar.
Okay.
The soundtrack, as we've touched on, is really great. It's the first soundtrack to reach number 1 on the Billboard charts without an original song in history. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I saw Jason Momoa was actually originally supposed to be Drax.
I seen that and I was going to put it in there and I opted not to. That's a very interesting one.
Yeah, it's funny. He's like he backed out of it because he didn't want to be typecast as a big guy just doing superhero movies, and then he fucking did Aquaman. Yeah. So he did exactly what he didn't want to do.
Yeah. Well, that paycheck comes a calling.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I loved him as Aquaman.
He's a good Aquaman.
And then my last fact, the Baby Groot dance at the end, that was actually James Gunn doing the dancing.
Oh, was it?
And then it was put in the CGI.
Huh. Okay. I did not know that either. Thank you for those. I actually did not know those. I didn't even see those in my research.
Sweet.
Adam, what do you have?
Well, aside from the Bradley Cooper fact that I gave earlier, One of mine was that James Gunn had confirmed via Twitter that Peter Quill's ship from the film is named Milano after Alyssa Milano, Peter Quill's childhood crush. Thought that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She is. If she were president, she would have been Abraham Lincoln. So,
touche.
And I saw that Chris Pratt had ad-libbed a lot of physical humor in the movie. A couple of scenes that were ad-libbed were him flipping the bird. That was ad-libbed into the movie.
That's a classic scene from the trailer too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I remember that from the trailer.
That's one of my favorite scenes. But that's for another portion of the podcast. But then he also ad-libbed dropping the orb when they're meeting with the collector when he pulls it out of the bag. And he decided to do it without James Gunn's permission and then ask forgiveness later. I thought that was pretty...
that is
pretty
my
funny.
life's credo.
Do it and ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
That's pretty much all I had. Like I said, I didn't research a whole bunch for this movie, so but I did think that Chris Pratt's ad-libs were really interesting. And that's what makes him such a great comedic actor.
Sounds like Adam is playing my role today. I did a little bit of research. But
I did a little bit. I didn't do much. I expect you to do most of the heavy lifting. I'm just here so you have somebody to talk to. Yeah, those were good ones, guys. Really, I like especially like the soundtrack thing. Like I never knew that. Like I knew the soundtrack went to #1, but I didn't know that it it was the first soundtrack to not have anything original. I thought I would have figured something would have been #1 before that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then another thing like that, my mom, she owns both the soundtrack, Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
She listens to them all the time. Like that was one of their requests for her birthday. She wanted one of those soundtracks. So,
way to go, Mom!
Oh yeah,
good choice, Mom. Now, have we decided we're going to stick with the name of the best scene category, the award?
That's what I have it written down as.
All right, is that still looking good?
Still looking good.
All right, well, the I Drink Your Milkshake award for the best scene of the movie. As those of you that listen to us, I usually come up with 5, and then I'll ask for some extras if anyone has them. I have the scene where at the beginning when Quill comes to Morag to steal the orb, and he's doing the dancing to Come and Get Your Love, and
kicking those little fucking demon dinosaurs.
Yeah, and he grabs one and starts singing with it. I just thought that was kind of cool. The second one I have is the introduction to Rocket and Groot, where they basically Star-Lord, Gamora, and Rocket, and they're all fighting for the orb and the right to take Quill in to collect the bounty. Thought that was really cool.
Was it 40 million units or 40,000?
40,000.
Yeah, 40,000.
And then when the Guardians break out of the prison.
Oh,
that's a really good
That's
scene.
a good one.
Especially like when Rocket wants the guy's leg, and it turns out he doesn't even fucking need it. And then even when they try to have a really solid plan, Groot fucks everything up and just does everything backwards.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, fucking, we'll improvise." I just love that. As you that listen to us know, I love a montage. Love a montage scene, and the scene where they're trying to concoct the plan to defeat Ronan, and then it's cherry bombs playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
And then you see Rocket as he's coming out, and he has to adjust his crotch for some reason.
That's that James Gunn humor in there.
Yeah.
And then of course I have basically from the battle scene towards the end, has some really good stuff. I love the when Drax is telling everybody he's grateful for their friendship. He says tells Peter he's grateful for his friendship, and then he calls Groot the dumb tree, and he calls Gamora the green whore.
Yeah.
I just love that. And then of course at the end when Drax is cleaning his knife, you see Baby Groot dancing, and then you turn to look at him.
Scene.
I thought that was kind of funny too. So those are my 5 scenes. You guys got anything you want to add or?
Yeah, I have a couple. One of my favorite scenes is, of course, "We Are Groot." It's one of the most heartfelt scenes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the dance off to save the universe.
Yeah.
Excellent scene. And I think you touched on all of my favorite scenes too. I really like that prison break scene.
Now the scene where he has the dance off, he calls Ronan something that's like a turd goblin or something.
Something like that.
I'm trying to distract you, you big turd. Something. What the hell did he say?
Yeah, and I had it written down as one of my favorite quotes, but then I deleted it for something else.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna look up and see what it is.
All right, for me, since it's a montage sequence, and it's the scene I always think of when I think of the movie. It's the cherry bomb sequence where they're trying to concoct the plan. That's where you got everybody involved. Yeah. Everybody's like kind of contributing something to the plan, and like Rocket adjusting himself for some odd reason. That's my favorite scene in the movie.
I think just really when they're on the kiln, the prison, the whole that whole scene from when they get there.
That's actually I thought about putting that in there too, because that whole sequence from the time they enter is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the whole kiln scene for me, that's my favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
From when he's calling them a bunch of a-holes and.
Rocket has that weird line where he says Quill's their booty. He goes, "This is our booty." I remember I seen that in the theaters opening night, and the whole fucking crowd lost it when he said that. I was like, I don't think that's what he means, guys, but okay, we'll go with it.
Double entendre.
Yeah.
Everybody's a bunch of children just laughing
right.
at the booty.
Adam, what do you got, man?
Well, what are we doing now? I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Drunk?
Is this fucking amateur hour?
I lost my train of thought.
Best scene.
Well, I added a couple earlier, but
did you forget those two?
I think the best scene would be "We Are Groot." I really like that scene, just because it shows that they came together finally, even though they all fought with each other the entire movie, and they're finally a team, and then Groot saves them all. I really like that scene.
Yeah, that does get you in the feels a little bit when Groot's basically Rocket's like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And he does, because it's confirmed later on by James Gunn that the Groot from there on out is the son of Groot. It's not actually Groot. Groot is dead.
Right. That's when we get the adorable baby Groot in part 2, which is the precursor to Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. No, Baby Groot was a big thing there for a while.
Yeah.
He was the fucking shit for a while. Then Baby Yoda stole all of his thunder.
True.
I know it was a million years ago, but it was "I'm distracting you, you turd blossom."
There it is, turd blossom.
Yeah, see, I thought that was really good. I wanted to put it in there, but I try to incorporate a little bit of a scene, a line from most of the main characters. So I have Quill saying something else, but
that's because you're a goddamn professional, Russ.
I am. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing.
You're not fucking forgetting like Adam over here.
Adam's still watching the fucking last 40 minutes of CBS's 48 Hours for this week.
Come on, Papaw, get your shit together.
I'm trying to figure out what he said. Turd blossom.
Hey, I'll clue you in on what happens on that 48 Hours. The guy murdered his wife for the insurance, and he got caught. End the story. So I don't know. That's the first time we've had multiple people. We've split the vote. Each one of us has a different favorite scene.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah. All right, well, there's a split, although we're just going to consider the cherry bomb scene the winner because it's mine.
Oh.
Well, you're the host, so
yeah.
you get 2 votes.
All right. I'll just bring the first lady of the Couch Brotato Podcast in here to break the tiebreaker.
There you go.
That'll work.
But next category is the King Kong Ain't Got Shit on Me best quote of the movie. My 5 is I am Groot, which of course is the line from the movie that everybody remembers.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked Rocket saying a bunch of jackasses standing in a circle when they come together. Like they all decide, like, okay, we may die for this, but this needs to happen.
Yeah, that's right before your cherry bomb scene,
right? Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it when basically they're trying to explain like Drax is literal, like he doesn't believe in, like he doesn't understand metaphors.
Yeah,
and then he comes back with that. I think that's great. When Quill says to Ronan, he says, "You said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy," which I'm always a sucker for when they put the movie title into a line like that.
Yep.
And then my last one is kind of a dark horse, but you got those cute little buggers like this one. I like to stick them in a row on my control console from Yondu. I fucking love that scene. It cracks me up every time. And they call back to it later on, too, which is awesome.
Yeah, because he actually does.
Yeah, he has all these little, like, glass
they call
figurines.
Knickknacks on there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you guys got?
The only one different that I have from you, so I had all of those.
All of them?
I had at least 4 of them. I had 4 of them that were all that were the same. 2 other ones I had when Quill is like trying to seduce Gamora out on the balcony, and she goes, "I know who you are, Peter Quill, and I am not some starry-eyed waif to succumb to your pelvic sorcery."
Oh damn! I forgot all about that one. That one would have been in my picks too. I fucking love that line.
That's a good one.
That's how I ended up with a second child.
That's a good one.
Pelvic sorcery.
And then there's I'm trying to remember the scene completely, but there's the part where Rocket's like, "You're making me beat up grass." That was pretty fucking hilarious. I think it's when they wanted to go help Quill.
Yeah, it is.
Out in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rocket just wanted to run away and collect his money.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the only 2 different ones I had from you.
Well, I get to go last, and so everybody else took all of my favorite quotes. But I do have one. Mine was at the end when they're talking to the police at the end, and they're like, "Well, it's Rocket." He's like, "Well, what if I want it more than the other person? Can I take it then?"
Yeah.
No, that's stealing. That's illegal. And then Drax is like, "What if someone does something irksome, and I decide to remove his spine?" It's like, no, that's murder. That's one of the most heinous crimes of all time. It's also illegal.
This one was like Office Space our last episode. It was tough to pick 5, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like try to get the best of each character. So what wins? I mean, like, well, let me put it to like this. Like, I think we all know it wins because it's pretty much the line that's synonymous with the movie. I am Groot.
I am Groot. Yeah.
But if we disqualify that one, since we know that's the winner,
disqualify.
what would be the silver medalist in this category?
Maybe nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. Or you said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That would be
that's
mine.
the one. That's mine. Yeah, because I am Groot is like the guy that died at the Oscars always gets the Oscar, except for this last time. Which
Yeah, I was gonna say that didn't happen this time.
But that's what I am Groot is to this category. I think so.
Yeah.
And plus, they say the name of the movie in the line, so I mean, it has to be the winner, right?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah. So, all right. You said it yourself, bitch, where the Guardians of the Galaxy wins that one. The Lou Brown, Give Him the Heater award for the performance from a bit player that brings the most heat. So my nominees are Sean Gunn as Kraglin, although I think he's much better in 2 than he is in 1.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that statement.
I have Benicio del Toro as the Collector.
Okay, he's good. Yeah.
And my personal winner, since he's not one of the main stars, is Michael Rooker as Yondu.
Yeah, I like him a lot better in the second one too, but he's really good in this.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, who you got, buddy?
Well, I'm gonna go with Dave Bautista, just because you don't expect a wrestler to be as good as that, and I wouldn't really count him as like one of the main characters, just because he's not part of the group as much as like everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, like I was like that too. Like I thought about putting him in this because like he's not featured as much as Chris Pratt or Zoe Saldana. Is it Saldana or Saldana?
I think it's Saldana.
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 Because
Okay.
She's, I believe she's part Colombian.
Okay. I just don't want to get a hateful letter from her later on.
She can write me and yell at me all she wants.
But I would agree with Russ. I would say Sean Gunn, and I don't remember his name, but the actor that played Yondu, yeah.
Well, like I really wanted to put Batista, but then like I also thought like, well, the movie's Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's about all of them.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Yondu is kind of like a side character that interacts with the Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's why I left Dave Bautista out. Although Dave Bautista steals this movie,
he does.
He really does.
A wrestler to do that,
and it's almost like when you watch the second one, you almost expect him to let you down. Like, okay, he's not going to be able to top this, but he's actually even better in part 2 than he is in 1.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, just right there at the beginning when he's stabbing that thing on the
yeah.
They're like, it's just as hard from the inside as it is the outside. He's never going to make it through.
Yeah, I was really shocked by how good he was in both of them, too. So, Lucas, do you have anybody you want to add to this?
Not add. I actually had Benicio del Toro as the collector.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought if somebody in space is trying to collect all these weird objects, they're going to be strange and over the top and just kind of a little ridiculous a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he played that really well.
I think if my wife was involved in this episode, she would give it to Benicio del Toro also because he has Howard the Duck. That would be like, he has Howard the Duck. He wins.
Yeah, and that's so funny that they have that obscure reference in there.
Mm-hmm. So who wins this? I'm going with Michael Rooker because I think he's awesome.
Adam?
I think I'm going to go with Benicio del Toro, just because you're right. He gives that weird vibe really good, and you don't expect that in a superhero movie. It's so off-putting.
Now, Russ, if this was 2, I would agree with you on Yondu, because I think he's the best part of Volume 2. Especially, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Fucking line cracks me up every time. But I did have Benicio del Toro, so
just as a counterpoint, can Benicio del Toro whistle and summon what looks to be a large crochet needle?
No, he could just enslave motherfuckers.
I was going to say, if he collected Yondu's head, then yes, he could.
We'll see how it wouldn't happen, or Yondu'd kill him. All right, so Benicio del Toro wins this one. Although I award him that under protest.
You begrudgingly award that.
Yeah. Final award. Lucas, have we decided yet whether we're going to mail these people the gold star or the student of the week award for whoever wins the movie? I think we should.
We do need to come up with something like a name for it. And as I was looking at this and I noticed that I didn't have a name for it, I was thinking about the Kumite. And I was thinking about that crazy motherfucker that movie's based on.
Oh, you mean the Kumite off of Bloodsport, which is an episode that you can hear anywhere you get your podcasts from the Couch Brotato Podcast. But go ahead. Sorry, I had to plug the show.
And it's slipping my mind right now.
Frank Dukes.
What's Frank Dukes?
Put up your Dukes?
Yeah. So it's like a Frank Dukes award because he won fucking everything. You remember he beat 5 trillion people?
Yeah, we did the math, or they did the math, and the Kumite would have to have more than the Earth's population for him to have as many knockouts as he did.
He was fucking beating up aliens and shit.
Yeah, he's beating up unborn children. fucking animals. Like his 30-second knockout was like some fucking crocodile that they're about ready to put to sleep anyways.
So I don't know. I was thinking about that, but
we'll come up with something. But I think we should mail them like a gold star, like a certificate. Like, hey, presented by the Couch Brotato Podcast, you won the movie. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
So for me, the winner of this, we could probably personally go hand him the gold star because he hangs out in a town that's really close to us. And that's Bradley Cooper. He hangs out with Dave Chappelle over in Yellow Springs, which is very close to us. I have Rocket as the winner of this movie.
Before we go any deeper into that, you do realize that we wouldn't get within 3 miles of Bradley Cooper, right? First off, there'd be an onslaught of women, my wife included. There's also, he probably has security.
He actually doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just walk down the fucking street over there.
Oh, wow. I don't want to be that creepy guy like, hey, don't I know you from something?
Here's a gold star from our podcast.
You won an award on our podcast that you probably will never listen to. But here you go, man. I just wanted to give this to you.
If he did, we would fucking explode. It'd be great.
I'd just quit doing the show. That'd be the end right there. Like, well, we gave a celebrity an award. We're done. So you're going with Bradley Cooper's Rocket?
Yes.
Adam, who do you have?
Honestly, it's Bradley Cooper as Rocket.
Really?
Yeah. He is the driving force for a lot of the humor in the movie that Star-Lord isn't doing anyways. And he has I think, a really good backstory. You know, he's kind of a broken individual too, but he spins it in a positive manner, and I think that makes the movie a lot better.
That's an excellent choice. Rocket is my favorite character of the Guardians series, and he's actually one of my favorite Marvel movie characters, period. I fucking love Rocket Raccoon. However, the person or people that win the movie for me is Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios win the movie. The reason I say that is they kind of took a gamble making this movie, and it paid off.
It's such obscure characters, and they were so new, and yeah.
And I mean, it's not like this movie did like Ant-Man numbers, which Ant-Man has been successful, but in terms of how the Marvel movies have their grosses, it's kind of towards the bottom. It's kind of like with the first Captain America, the first Thor, were successful, but they weren't these mega hits. No one really had heard of the Guardians, and this was a huge hit for them. Huge hit.
Yeah. Can you explain the Ant-Man hate? Because I think those movies are awesome.
I don't think that I think they're good movies. I just think that in terms of Ant-Man is kind of at least Scott Lang is kind of a mid-level character. I may have gone with Hank Pym. He's more known as Ant-Man. Somebody's probably going to correct me. If anyone, listens to this show, you can send a hate mail my way. But I know that's not going to happen because no one listens. But I would have maybe made Hank Pym Ant-Man. And maybe he would have been a little bit more notorious. But I don't think Ant-Man gets a lot of hate. I just, in terms of Iron Man started the whole thing off. He's, I think, pretty much considered the most popular in the MCU. Just because of how much his movies have made.
Yeah.
You want to hear a cool fact about this movie?
What's that?
That I didn't write it down, but I was thinking about putting it in the Somerset Research Corner. This is the first movie to crack 300 million or 330 million without Iron Man in it. So.
Oh wow! See, I had something similar to that. That this is the highest grossing movie ever released in August.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or actually, it's the highest grossing, or it's the only movie released in August to be the highest grossing movie of that summer. Something like that.
Something.
Yeah,
something
it
really
made
cool.
a shit ton of money either way.
Disney was happy with it.
But yeah, I mean, that's who wins the movie for me. Is I really think that this could have really bit Marvel in the ass, and if this movie failed, it could have sunk the MCU. I mean, I don't think it would have, but it would have maybe taken a major step back.
Yeah.
They probably would have at least had like second thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that if this would have failed, you would have just seen the focus be more on Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and then, you know, tried to. Yeah. I would imagine they would have tried to put on the full court press to get Spider-Man involved a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they took a big risk with this, and it paid off for them. I mean, and I think without this, you wouldn't have gotten Ant-Man. You wouldn't have gotten Doctor Strange. You wouldn't have gotten Captain Marvel. Black Panther.
Another movie where people just fucking hate, and I don't understand.
What, Captain Marvel?
People hate that. Like, I don't know if you've looked online.
I think it's because Brie Larson made some comments. Because did it come out right before the Me Too movement? But I know she made some comments, and like a lot of the fanboys really took offense to it for some odd reason.
See, I that aside, like I still watch it and I'm like, this is okay, but if it didn't exist, I wouldn't care.
That's kind of where I'm at with it too. Like I enjoyed Captain Marvel, but it's not one I've revisited a lot. But I also think too she could be one of those characters, like her movies could get better the more you get to know her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for like Thor, like I thought the Thor 1 was okay. I thought Thor 2 was the worst one of this, like actually one of the worst MC movies, period.
Yeah, it's in the bottom 3 probably.
But then like Ragnarok is
awesome.
Phenomenal. It's one of the better ones. So,
and then Love and Thunder coming out, I'm looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And he's part of the Guardians right now, so that's even cooler.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think that's like, it's not. I think she's got like Brie Larson specifically, kind of got some backlash for some comments that she made, and I don't remember what they were off the top of my head because I wasn't prepared for this, but to address Captain Marvel.
My bad.
That's all right. We're not professionals here. But yeah, I mean, like, I think without the Guardians, though, you wouldn't have gotten any of this. I know for a fact you wouldn't have gotten, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have gotten Black Panther.
Which turned out to be one of their bigger movies.
Yeah. I that and one of their best ones, too.
Yeah, that's actually that's my favorite one. That's my favorite.
I think in terms
Marvel
of how
movie.
well it's made, I think Black Panther is top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have gotten any of those. Like, I don't think you would have gotten those characters without this one doing well. So that's why I give that award to them.
Yeah, it's hard to argue it.
Yeah, I can't argue that either. Like, Rocket doesn't compare to that.
Nothing compares to you, Kevin Feige.
Well, that's why, like, I figure who wins the award. It's like, it doesn't have to be an actor or the director. It could just be somebody that was involved with the making of the movie, period. So it could be anybody. I mean, fuck, we could do, like, when we do a Fast and Furious movie later this summer, like, it could be like, hey, you know what? I don't think any of the actors or the directors won this movie, but you know what? The key grip. That guy fucking brought his A game. So I'm
Punch
giving it
him
to
in
him.
the face.
Yeah.
Real fucking hard.
Yeah. Or like, you know, the boom mic operator, like you can really pick up some stuff with him. So that guy wins the award. So
you can hear them cheeks clapping and them girls in them booty shorts.
Yeah, when they're doing the street racing in Fast 7, yeah, you can hear him. You can just hear like ass cheek on like nylon. He really picks it up. All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
Adam?
I'm giving you the floor first, Adam, since you fucking shot me a nasty look earlier.
Well, I would like to reiterate that this is the glue that holds the Marvel Cinematic Universe together. Like, it connects all of the movies. It has the big bad guy Thanos as the building up to the Infinity War point. It tells us the lore of the Infinity Stones. We get that nice explanation from the Collector. And it is probably, like we were saying before, the reason why the Infinity Saga did so well going forward after it.
Mm-hmm. Lucas, do you have anything you want to?
No, I mean, like we were saying, I'm pleasantly surprised by how well the actors did in this. Like, I would have, if you would have told me at the time Bradley Cooper would have been fucking hilarious smart ass, I would have never believed you.
Well, I think he kind of sets he did that earlier though. He's like really good in The Hangover, playing kind of the same character as Rocket, just a little bit dialed down a little bit. He's a fucking asshole in The Hangover too. I mean, he fucking has kids give him like money for a field trip that he's going to use to spend in Vegas. If that's not a douchebag, I don't know what is.
I haven't seen The Hangover in so long. Like it made me sad with 2 and 3. So.
I only remember that because I thought shortly after I seen that, like, man, if I was a teacher, that's actually a fucking really good idea. And I can't say that I wouldn't have tried it.
Yeah. And then you and I are lifelong wrestling fans. Seeing Batista come in there and just be so excellent as Drax. He plays a character on wrestling, so you don't really get to see that funny side of him because he was more serious on the wrestling side. And then Chris Pratt, we kind of knew what he had from Parks and Rec, but him getting into like super good shape and being kind of a hero that you can all relate to. Like what would happen if we were kidnapped by aliens and we started stealing shit and accidentally stumbled upon an Infinity Stone, that's Star-Lord. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It's probably top 5 Marvel movie for me. Right. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier though, that to me, this is a really good judge of like, when you see something on paper, like, give it a chance before you make judgment on it. Because, like I said, I was ready to bury this thing when I read about it. Like, oh, that's good. Like I said, it's going to suck. Like, I have no desire to see this at all.
Dude, to that point, you remember we went to the movies and we were fully prepared to fucking just dog on Battle Los Angeles because it didn't look that great. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go see it. If it's shitty, we'll just make fun of it the whole time, and that movie is fucking awesome.
It is. That's a Lucas and I guilty pleasure. I seem to have like that movie with one of my friends that like no one else really likes it, but like me and this one friend fucking love this movie, and Battle LA is that one for Lucas and I.
Movie's awesome.
That's no matter like Lucas could try to break into my house for crack money tomorrow, but we'll always have Battle LA is that bond that keeps us together.
Boy, I am desperate these days.
Hey, you know what? Like, Lucas tried to steal my wife's wedding rings, but you know what, though? I'll forgive him because we like Battle LA.
You just catch Lucas's hand in the nightstand drawer, and you're like, whoa, what are you doing? And then Lucas just says, Battle LA. Oh, it's cool.
It's like, fine. Hey, what the fuck are you doing in my wife's jewelry box? I was trying to find Battle LA, dude. I'm like, I can't find it at my house.
Thanks, Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, like, this is just, like, one of those things, though, that, like, until I've gotten to the point now, like, this really, like, until I see it, like, I kind of reserve judgment. Like, I'll go off Rotten Tomatoes scores. I'll judge them on the trailer, but, like, I'll still probably see it. And it really goes to show you that Marvel has a formula that works. Because, I mean, they've been able to take every movie that they've done, and it's worked. I mean, how many film series like that can do that?
I don't know.
I mean, the Fast and Furious, as great as they are, they have Too Fast, Too Furious. DC's had their issues with stuff. Star Wars, the same way. Like, this is the only film franchise that seems to be like, they just know how to make a movie work.
Yeah. Before Marvel, I mean, it was the rule of even-numbered sequels. Like, all the even-numbered sequels were the best ones. Mm-hmm. And Marvel, it's every sequel, every movie in the franchise is good. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, and even the worst ones are still, I mean, they have something good about them. I mean, like Thor Dark World's got some good stuff in it. The Incredible Hulk, which I have changed my opinion of a little bit after I watched it again recently. It's I still enjoy it, but it's not as good as I remembered it.
Oh God, that movie is a steaming pile.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, Lucas. It's
Agree to disagree.
all right.
Why don't you two fight about it? I've got
You don't
plenty
wanna
of
see me
memory
when I
left
get
on the
angry.
SD card. Okay, gang. Well, that's going to wrap up Guardians of the Galaxy. Lucas, do you want to tell everybody what we're doing in 2 weeks?
I sure do. If I can pull up my text message and remember, because I'm drawing a blank like Adam here. In 2 weeks, we are doing Inglorious Bastards.
Yep. We're finally visiting a Quentin Tarantino movie. I think we'll save like some of the like Pulp Fiction. We have to do that one in person together. Like that has to be.
Yeah.
So we can also dance like John Travolta.
Yeah.
Or recreate the meme that we love so much where he's standing around like, so what the fuck?
So yeah, that one's coming out in a couple weeks. And then after that, we go to a weekly format, which
I'm
very
very excited about.
Yeah. And we're kicking that off with the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, Adam, you are coming on for that one, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
My favorite movies of all time.
yeah, because I know Lucas has expressed to me that he is not too familiar with Indiana Jones, and for me, Indiana Jones is my favorite movie character of all time. So,
Indiana Jones is like quintessential adventure movie. Like it's the adventure movie.
the end all be all.
I kind of relate him to video games like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. Those characters are made from Indiana Jones, so
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got that coming up. Exciting stuff coming your way. So be sure to check us out. If you haven't subscribed to us wherever you get your podcast, you can follow us on Facebook at Couch Brotato Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, the same thing, Couch Brotato Podcast. We also have an email address, couchbrotatopodcast@gmail.com, if you'd like to write us to let us know what you think of the show. How much
I will be starting a TikTok, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to be on TikTok soon. You can write us an email letting me know how much I don't know about comic books. You can also talk about how hot you think Lucas's voice is. Whatever you want. Send us an email. So we will catch you guys in 2 weeks with Inglorious Bastards. So until then, we'll see you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.
Deuces.